cheers. Here's Siddle. Oh, Ramal's close. He's given him. He's given him. Peter Siddle's got a hat-trick on his birthday.
Welcome back to the On the Ball podcast. This is episode 36 of the show. We are once again joined by Rhett. Welcome back, mate.
Thanks, mate. How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good. Not really doing too much at the moment, really. Uni holidays, back in lockdown for the second time, being a Melburnian, so
Unlucky
not doing
chap.
too much. Pretty much just going through a daily routine at the moment of going for a run, then going for a skateboard, and then just organising stuff for the podcast is pretty much all I'm doing. I think I'm going to start some tutoring soon because the kids are back at school, get that income rolling back in.
Is this a Zoom teaching type of thing?
Yeah, just through the Zoom.
It's unreal.
How's Tassie going, mate?
We're chilling here, mate. Everything's back to normal. We can do whatever. Playing like full contact sport. Clubs are open, mate. Not that I've been, but yeah.
Have you had any more soccer matches after the first one? Or?
Oh, we had a practice match yesterday. Just got killed like 8-1. Seeing as that was like intra-club match, so it's just the better team versus. So we just got killed.
Oh, that's a bit dog. Anyway, so today we're here to chat about yesterday's UFC 251. It's probably on paper one of the best. Well, I'm not I haven't been a UFC fan for like 10 years, so I can't really make this claim. But I've heard people say it's like one of the best cards on paper ever.
Yeah.
There was three title fights and another one basically, which was a number one contenders fight. So pretty outstanding stuff. I know we both watched it. How did you enjoy it? Did it live up to your expectations?
I think all the expectation after Masvidal got put in, all the expectation was on the main event, and I think that the main event was the only fight that disappointed. Yeah. I think everybody was left with like a little bit of a dull, but I think over the rest of the card it was pretty unreal fights all around.
Yeah. The people who bought the pay-per-view definitely got their money's worth.
Yeah,
pretty much.
So.
Every fight almost went the distance. Obviously, Jan and Aldo finished like 1:30 before the final bell, barring the first fight on the card. And speaking of that first fight, Amanda Ribas versus Paige Van Sant in the women's flyweight division. Ribas was the heaviest favorite on the card. She's not even that highly ranked. She's only like number 14 ranked, and that's actually in the strawweight division. But I don't think Paige has been fighting much recently. Yeah. And it was all over pretty much as soon as it started. She just like took her down almost straight away. Yeah. And then it was just a matter of getting her arm and then just tapped her out through an arm lock. So that was not even too much. I think you watched this one, didn't you?
Yeah, like all the talk going into it was about Van Zandt was like going into a free agency. So this was the last fight on her contract, and she was like telling everyone like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to free agency and get more money and shit." Because apparently like the amount she gets off like Instagram and like modeling and shit is way more than what she gets from the UFC.
Yeah.
So she's kind of fuming about that. But then she doesn't really have a leg to stand on because she just got tapped out in about 2 minutes. So
yeah, pretty rubbish fight, really.
Yeah, I think
completely one-sided.
Yeah, I think Ribas is like pretty highly rated. Like she's on the up, whereas Van Zandt's more journeywoman, I'd say. And
yeah, I think they were saying on my favorite show, DC and Helwani, they were saying that Van Zandt's boyfriend or husband or something either fights or works at Bellator, so apparently she's going to be going there. But yeah, who knows? Maybe. Well, I don't know why the UFC would offer her lots of money, but
yeah, I heard Dana was talking in the post fight about her going into free agency, and he's just like, yeah, she probably should test the free agency, just like hinting that he just doesn't give a fuck, like that she was pretty shit. Yeah. So I thought that was harsh, but she can cop.
Yeah, she's doing Paige is kind of doing the Bouchard in tennis. Starts off the career well, and then seems as though her attention goes elsewhere and kind of forgets about the
Yeah, I think
sport that made her famous.
Yeah, I think the money just doesn't make sense for her anymore. So it's like hard
Yeah,
to
fair
motivate
enough.
yourself. When she even said, she's like, I can post one photo on Instagram and get more money than fighting.
Yeah, fair
So
enough.
it must be hard to motivate yourself when that's the case.
Yeah, it's fair enough. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the first fight. It was over pretty quickly, so not too much to chat about it. Then that took us into probably the fight I was most excited for, to be honest.
Yeah.
Obviously a lot of the hype was about Kamaru and Masvidal, but or even Max and Volkanovski, but I was very keen for Jessica Andrade and Rose Namajunas, and it lived up to expectation. It won fight of the night.
Yeah.
In like the performance bonuses, it went the distance, and Rose got up, which I was happy about. I was going for Rose. She's probably like my favorite female fighter.
Yeah.
And yeah, so she's back in the winner's circle now. Probably looks set to take on the champ Zhang Weili, which will be an awesome fight to watch because Zhang Weili's fights are pretty much always elite.
Yeah.
This one though, deservedly fight of the night. Very tight the whole way through. I agree with the judges personally. I thought Rose won the first 2 rounds and then Jessica won the final round.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only negative about this fight was probably that it wasn't 5 rounds because it was probably a little bit more entertaining than the 3 fights to follow, if I'm honest. Rose had a slight upper hand in terms of the stats, in terms of strikes and significant strikes, but Jessica had the takedown, and I think Jessica's punches seemed to do a lot more than Rose's. A lot of Rose's were kind of just like light jabs, but they all add up, and in the end, she had double the strikes to her opponent's head as Jessica did, so that probably played a big factor in the judge's decision. What do you think of this one, Redos?
Yeah, I thought had it gone 5 rounds, the result might have been different because Rose really looked like she was slowing down early. Late in the fight, but I think Andrade just took a bit too long to put her foot on the gas, much like I thought was the case in one of the other fights, which we'll get to. But yeah, I think Rose really did well to bank those 2 early rounds, and then she also took her foot off the gas, just tried to stick in there for the last round and ground it out. But I think she fought really well in the first 2 rounds. Her boxing looked like really good compared to Andrade. Like the technique was much better, I think.
Yeah, Andrade. She kind of made Andrade look like a bit of a hack.
Yeah,
like,
just a street fighter.
Yeah, no, Rose was legit like losing her balance and stuff by the end. So as you were saying, I think if there was even just one more round, let alone 2, I think Jessica could have beaten her. So potentially, obviously, this is pretty far fetched, but if Rose goes and beats Zhang Weili, potentially like another trilogy fight for these two, for the belt, and that would be 5 rounds, which would probably suit the challenger and Jessica. So that would be interesting to see. But obviously, Rose would have to beat Zhang Weili. So yeah, Rose won that. I was going to say pretty comfortably, but in the end, it wasn't really, given the battering.
Was it a split? Was it a split decision or?
Yeah,
it was
one of
decision,
the judges gave it to Jessica. The first judge gave it to Rose, and then this second one gave it to Jessica. So I genuinely thought Jessica was going to get it, but which I wouldn't have been happy about. But no, Rose got the win. And yeah, as I said, this was basically a title shot, really.
Unless like they give it, I think there's a good chance they do a rematch between Zhang Weili and Joanna.
Yeah,
because that fight was fight of the year probably.
Yeah, that is true.
Which everyone wants to see again, but
and then so the winner, if they don't get the title shot, I don't really know where to from there for them. But the loser, I think they're probably better than everyone else in the division. So they'll probably just have to cop a few fights where they just dust off a few of the lower ranked people.
Yeah, I think
before they get another title shot. But
I think it might be one of them will fight Joanna probably, maybe, and then Rose with a title shot.
Yeah,
if Joanna and Jessica are both coming off losses, then it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense, and that does make a lot of sense. So yeah, that was fight of the night, and deservedly so. Probably my favorite fight of the night.
Yeah.
Even though the following three were all interesting to watch. So that led us into the third fight of the main card, which was Piotr Yan and Jose Aldo, which was a bit of an interesting one for the vacant bantamweight title after Henry Cejudo retired. And you'd probably think it would go to a number 1 and 2 showdown, but they gave it to number 3 and number 9 in the rankings or something like that,
Yeah.
which is quite a surprise. But in this fight, they kind of showed why they were held in such high regard by Dana to get the shot. Both like super technical fighters. And yeah, what did you think of this one?
I think this one was probably my favorite, just because I think Piotr Jan put in like such a good performance. I think he showed why everyone was hyping him up. I think everyone was thinking like, oh, it might just be hype, like he hasn't fought anyone that competitive yet, but he showed like he's got everything in this fight. Like his engine was like really impressive as well, because I think it kind of showed that Aldo was worn down, and then he kind of slowed in the last 2 rounds, and then Piotr Jan was just on his ass, man. He was just belting him for the
by
last
the
2
end.
rounds.
Yeah,
I thought the stoppage was pretty poor. Like he should have stopped it at least a minute earlier.
Yeah,
He was
like,
on his back.
Even though he was like moving around,
Yeah.
it's like he couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, it's like not really defending yourself just because you slightly
exactly.
change your position. That doesn't count as defending yourself.
He was legit just on his head for like 2 minutes. But yeah, that's probably a good point. Yeah, it was pretty tight in the first couple rounds.
For sure.
But yeah, that last 3 minutes especially, but even the fourth round, Jan just freaking did dirty things to the legend that is Aldo.
It's disgusting.
It's
I think
savage.
the bantamweight division is actually like really exciting. Like right now, I think before when Cejudo was in it, like I don't think anyone was really paying attention to it. But I think
he was like way better.
I think it's a weird thing that happens when like the champion leaves and just opens the door for so many new people.
Yeah, it's legit.
I think Piotr Jan versus Aljamain Sterling next.
Yeah, Aljo definitely should be like the man penciled in for that.
Yeah,
for that shot.
That's going to be
even though he's not number 1 ranked, but
he isn't.
Marlon Moraes. No, it's like Marlon Moraes or whatever that dude's name is. He beat Jose Aldo in like Brazil last year, but apparently, like even Dana said,
everyone thought he lost.
Which is wrong. Yeah, so
I think they're just going to.
He's number 1 ranked. I don't think they really view him as the number 1 ranked.
No,
so
definitely not.
Yeah, I definitely think Aljamain will get it, which will be a pretty interesting fight.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, as you said, the bantamweight division looks very interesting now. It's pretty like as you said, it's a weird concept that the champion leaves and then it gets better. But,
it kind of
especially that night. What was it? What was that night where they showcased like?
Was it UFC?
Like
was it the last?
Bantam?
Maybe UFC 249 or 250. It was just bantamweight after bantamweight.
Yeah, I think it was 250. Yeah. Which was Amanda Nunes.
Amanda Nunes' card. And I think
and there was like Sugar Sean and stuff.
Yeah, the fact that there was 3 like beast finishes all from bantamweights was just helped everyone get into it. So I think everyone's really excited about the division now, which is probably a first for these lads.
Yeah, I don't think Cody Garbrandt's penciled in for anything.
Yeah.
So maybe a Cody Jose fight, but I don't really know what Cody gets from that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, maybe
Moraes. Because if he beats him,
everyone's saying
Cody could fight someone higher like Moraes.
I think,
to be fair,
Sean O'Malley has a fight already booked now. I think it's on the. Is it
he's
on DC's card?
Yeah, the DC card.
That's going to be
UFC 252
against. I forgot the guy's name.
I don't know who it is.
I think it's a Brazilian guy. I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, is it? Yeah,
Cheeto something. Oh, Cheeto Rivera.
Yeah, Marlon Vera, I think.
Yeah, something like that.
Who was
something.
He was kind of dogged against Sang Yadong or whatever that guy's name is.
Oh yeah,
Sung
Yadong.
Yeah, he was like way better than them, and he lost the fight. So yeah, very interesting times for the bantamweight. Interesting to see what Cody Garbrandt does as well, because I don't think he's that high in the rankings. I think he's like 6 or something, but They could give him a fight against like Marlon Moraes or something like that.
Yeah,
But we'll see. Yeah, I definitely think Aljo will get that shot against Piotr Jan. But
yeah, for
good luck
sure.
to him because Jan looked pretty bloody beast.
And Aljo's been like purposely building beef with him for a while, so I think that's going to help his
Yeah.
cause.
Yeah. And then the next one, which is probably another one that I was most keen for,
Yeah.
even over the main event. Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski 2. And Volkanovski came in the favorite and basically showed why, I guess. Even though everyone's pretty disappointed by the decision, I agreed. I didn't watch. I'll be honest. We were like kind of watching a movie while this fight was on, so
Yeah.
like I wasn't watching every single second of it. But from what I saw, I definitely thought Max was the better. But then you look at the statistics, and it's kind of hard to argue with the judge's decision. How do you see it?
I think what kind of skews, everyone shows looks at the stats, and then you see even in the first 2 rounds, like it says Volkanovski had more significant strikes, but Max dropped him in both rounds. So you can't there's no argument for the first 2 rounds. Like they had to go to Max. And then I think for most of the third round, Max dominated that as well. So I think I don't see how they could give any of the first 3 to Volkanovski. But I think what everyone was saying was like, if you're a judge and you're watching the fight and you've seen the first 2 rounds and you've already given them to Max, and then the third round, it's like kind of close. But if you give it to Max, then you've already decided the fight.
Yeah.
So if it's close, they'll just give it to the other fighter. But they're thinking,
leave it open.
Yeah, just to leave it, like just so they don't have to make that.
Yeah.
Like have in their head, they've already made the decision on the fight.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But like,
it's
to be fair to
tough one for
Volkanovski,
Max.
he did dominate the last 2 rounds for sure. Especially the last one, he came on strong.
Yeah, and like although Volkanovski has more strikes and significant strikes, a lot of them were leg kicks, which although they do a lot of damage compared to like head and body blows, they probably should be taken into account less.
Yeah.
But yeah, very stiff for Max. He also thought he won the first fight, which was a lot less controversial, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people agreed that with the judges on that occasion, but not really sure what's next for Max now because I don't know.
Yeah.
Like he's not going to get a trilogy fight after losing the first 2,
Which I think sucks because
controversial.
I definitely think he deserved that fight, and it's just weird to see Max Holloway fighting and it not be for a title. Because I think every fight he's fought in the last 3 years has been for a title.
Yeah.
Which
So, like although as Australians we probably should be happy that Volkanovski won. I was kind of going for Max.
Max is just like the most likable bloke. He's like the most likable guy in the UFC, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like everybody roots for him.
And then like Volkanovski, I think it's like his short, chode stature that
just turns me off.
Kind of, legit. He just looks like a bit aggro, but he played rugby league, so I probably should respect him. So interesting to see what's next for both these fighters now. As we said, I don't really see why there would be a trilogy fight, given that Volkanovski won the first 2.
Yeah.
But then the problem is
there's no real.
Below them, there's not really too many other big names. There's like Zabit, but he's not really fought too many big fighters.
He does look good though. I think he has a really good. I've watched some of his fights, and he looks like dangerous. But
he has a fight. I think 2 weeks after the DC Miocic card against Rodriguez or something, who's 5th ranked. So if he wins that, you think he'll get a shot at Volkanovski.
Yeah.
But the problem is, that's a very mythical fight.
I don't see anyone. They're talking about Cejudo's talking about coming back to fight. To fight Volkanovski, and low-key, even though Volkanovski's saying he doesn't want the fight, there's more interest in that than any of the other contenders, apart from if they do Holloway again.
Yeah, like if it's Volkanovski versus Abbott, like I don't even know if they can. Like I don't think that can headline a pay-per-view.
No way, not even.
That
Couldn't even
might even
headline a
headline like a
fight night,
fight
mate.
night.
Everyone would be like, "Who are these folks?"
It like genuinely might be limited to a fight night headline, which I'm pretty sure the flyweight. I think the flyweight title's up for grabs at a fight night in like 2
Come on,
weeks.
tell me. Tell me I
I don't
don't even
even
know a
know.
flyweight.
Yeah, I don't know who they are. So yeah, that's realistically, it's probably not ideal for the UFC that Holloway lost this because they probably
No.
would have preferred Holloway to win, and then that sets up a trilogy. But I guess if Zabit beats Rodriguez, he deserves a final shot, even if it's not going to be that popular.
Yeah.
In terms of Max, not really sure what to now for him because anyone else who's going to fight in this division is going to be a pretty mythical fight, and you'd like to think he'll just dispose of them pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know like the history of Max or anything, but maybe a divisional change or something.
Yeah, I think
could be on the cards.
He's fought. I'm pretty sure he's fought. Yeah, he's fought at lightweight before. He fought for the interim lightweight against Dustin Poirier and lost in a 5-rounder. It went the distance. It was like one of the best fights of that year. But he lost, and then Poirier ended up fighting Khabib. So you never know, maybe back to lightweight. But lightweight's one of the most stacked divisions right now.
There's probably more money on offer for him there.
Yeah,
so it depends kind of title versus money.
I think he's already cemented himself as like the best featherweight of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like
along with Aldo.
Yeah. He could go take fights like even like Dan Hooker or like Tony Ferguson, like
that would be good fights.
Even though they're not high ranked, that he's going to make more money than that fighting some of the people.
Yeah, it's just like you don't want to lose 3 in a row if you're Maxer.
Yeah.
So I think he might still go for an easier
fight.
A
few easy ones.
An easy fight at featherweight, just build himself back up. Because I think that would have crushed him, like to go through all of that and then be certain that you won, and then the decision not go your way like that. I don't think he'll fight for a while.
Yeah. So in terms of who Max could fight, there's like Brian Ortega and like Young Sung Jung or something. I don't know his name.
The Korean zombie.
South Korean. Yeah. Is that his name?
Yeah, the Korean zombie. I think that's
him. They were meant to fight those two in December, but Ortega pulled out with like a hamstring injury or something. So
they have beef apparently.
I don't know if that's. Oh really?
Yeah, because
so that fight will probably be rescheduled at some point, and then maybe Max fights the winner. That would make sense. And then also in this division, Calvin Kattar is versing Dan Ige on Thursday. That's the
that's
headliner.
The serious fight.
That's the main event on Thursday. So that the winner of that, although that neither of them are that high ranked, they're both coming off wins. So the winner of that could shoot up into Max Holloway contention. Who knows?
I think Calvin Kattar, he looks. They both look good, but I think there's a lot of hype around Calvin Kattar because like the last fight he knocked. Who was it? What's his name?
Jeremy Stevens.
Jeremy Stevens, yeah, the guy who got trolled by McGregor.
Yeah, the guy, just came in like 5 pounds over.
Yeah, he was 5 pounds over and still got like flatlined. So yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one, and then that brought us into the main event. Much hyped Kamaru Usman versus Jorge Masvidal. Obviously the hype kind of intensified after Gilbert Burns tested positive to COVID, but which is a bit sad. But
he'll get back.
I think Gilbert Burns will probably get the next shot at Kamaru Usman anyway. And what do you think of this fight?
I think if everyone was being completely realistic and just looking at it like tactically going in, I think like 99 times out of 100 this was going to happen. Like everyone was banking on Masvidal pulling out like one of his fucking fluke hand of God like knockouts.
Yeah, but it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, like Usman is just way too smart, way too technical, and he's just like so much more built like athletically, and I think he was just better in like almost every department. And the fact that he just took it straight to the wrestling, like it gave Masvidal zero chance.
Yeah.
So I think
It was like, I know it's stupid to say this because from Usman's point of view, like, why wouldn't you just fight a boring fight if it's going to get you your title back? But yeah, it was very boring.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much from round 3 on, it was just like in the clinch against the fence.
Yeah.
And
I think
like,
a lot of people were saying like this was Usman's chance to like become like a star of the UFC, when this is like the most people that would ever have been watching his fight by like an absolute mile, and he's just fucking sat on him for 4 rounds. Like he had a chance. If he like goes out and like finishes him, like knocks him out, he instantly becomes like a star. Like everyone will remember his name. They'll tune in next time he fights. Next time he fights, everyone will remember. Oh, I remember the last time this guy fought. He just sat on Masvidal's face for 4 rounds. Like, I think he will regret not trying to put him away for sure. Like, I think he's done more damage to his reputation than what he thinks. Like,
yeah, I think the UFC would be kind of annoyed by it as well, because this was like, the welterweight's a pretty good division, especially up top, but
yeah,
the
for sure.
champion is a myth, pretty much.
Yeah, honestly, I'd
And,
way
like,
rather have Colby Covington as the.
Yeah,
Honestly, Colby
and, like,
Covington,
at the
one of my
moment-
favorite fighters in the UFC. Like, the man is funny as, and the way he fights.
like, at the
is
moment,
beast.
the title holders, they're, unfortunately for the UFC, they're not like the greatest characters, like a lot of the greatest characters,
Except Stylebender.
just outside the title picture. Like, you've got Adesanya, John Jones, and Khabib, and then the rest, even like Stipe, they're all pretty mythical.
Yeah.
Like, Stipe never fights, and then like Usman and Volkanovski, they're myths, and then
Just imagine Ngannou, Jones, Stylebender, Covington.
yeah,
All the lads, man.
and like
Khabib,
yeah, exactly.
all the way back.
So probably not ideal for the UFC. But oh well, they can cop. And to be fair, can't really hate on Kamaru. It's just
He's
smart
just doing.
footy from him.
He's just all business, mate. He doesn't give a fuck.
Were you copping the feet, the toe stamps?
That was fucking weird, mate. Like, I'm pretty
I
sure if
think
he
he was
goes heel
only
to toe,
doing
like he
that.
breaks his toe there. I don't.
Yeah, I
understand.
think he was only doing that so he didn't get told off about doing nothing. Like, I don't actually think he was really trying to
Yeah, like it was a fucking
kill it.
stretch.
I don't think he was trying to kill him
Everyone
through
was like,
bashing
"What
on
the
his
fuck?"
toes. But yeah, everyone was abusing him for it. But fair play if it allowed him to
Yeah,
just stay in the
I really
clinch
don't
for
think he cares.
that
Honestly.
long. Yeah.
Like,
So I have to say it was pretty disappointing. Like,
It was
I'm
be-
not going to come out and say it's Kamaru's fault, but like, just in terms of the fight overall, it was pretty
Yeah.
dull.
I think
Probably
he
the
just
worst on the card.
missed a trick for sure.
Yeah, it's probably the worst on the card. And yeah, I much would have preferred to see Burns versus Usman. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to see that in the near future.
Yeah, I think Burns will be way closer fight. I think his skill set is much more closely, like his stylistically just matches up way better, because on the ground he's got way more of a like an attacking skill set than Masvidal. Masvidal was just trying to get up, and if you just do that, like,
Yeah,
you're just gonna tire yourself out.
yeah,
And that happened, I think.
yeah. So I definitely think that's pretty much locked in. Usman versus Burns.
Yeah,
And then for Masvidal, I think I want to see him fight Covington.
yeah,
And then the winner fights the winner of Usman Burns. Well, if Usman wins, if he loses, probably a rematch. But yeah, it's pretty stiff on Leon Edwards
yeah.
and even Tyron Woodley. But
No, Tyron Woodley's
yeah, I just
out.
think that
Tyron
makes
Woodley's
more
done.
sense. Yeah,
He's
well,
done,
it's just stiff for him to just be spat out that fast. But I don't really know what maybe he can fight Edwards. I don't know, but he will probably get killed there.
Yeah, I think Edwards deserves a title shot as well. But like,
yeah, it just makes more sense for Masvidal to fight Covington, because they both probably think they deserve another title shot, because Masvidal only came in off a 6-day notice, and then Covington, there was a lot of controversy in that fight, and he was claiming that like the only reason the ref was
the ref.
the ref was allowing the fight to stop for like low blows was because he's like anti-Trump, and stuff like this. He was claiming a lot of things, but
Some of his best
there were
work.
some controversial moments in there, to be fair to him.
Yeah.
So I think that fight makes the most sense, and that would be an awesome fight. Like the lead up to that fight, there would be so much beef.
And I
It'd be
think that would
funny
be a
as.
much closer fight because I don't think Covington's not going to just grab him by the crotch and take him down. I think he'll actually try and stand there and like strike with him, which I think will be unreal spectacle.
Yeah. Like maybe they could go Covington versus Edwards, and then Masvidal fights Woodley to kind of springboard him back into stardom after that pretty lackluster performance. But I think that's pretty stiff on Masvidal.
Yeah, I think Masvidal's he's just too big of a. I don't think this did anything to his reputation, honestly.
Yeah, exactly.
So I
It was
think
a win, as
yeah,
DC was saying on the DC and Helwani show. It was a win-win for him. Like if he
Yeah.
loses, he just says 6-day notice. If he wins, he just says I'm a beast, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, unless he goes down a division and takes on Connor.
No, I don't think he's too. I reckon Conor would have to come to
Yeah,
welterweight for sure.
Yeah, I don't even really want to see that. Just stick to your divisions, lads. Show some respect to the system. So yeah, that's pretty much it for UFC 251. There's a lot of fights coming up in the near future. We've got DC and Stipe, the trilogy fight for the heavyweight title coming up in I think the second week of August. Then the flyweight title is like
Come on.
some myth. It's like some myth midweek show, but that's coming up. I think in 2 weeks. So yeah, pretty exciting times in the UFC. As well, the thing is, COVID's not even easing there, but based on the amount of events, it seems like it is. So yeah, fair play to the UFC.
Yeah, I think they
I
did
guess
pretty
their
well.
tactic has won over a lot of people because, like, I've become a fan as it was the only sport to watch, and I'm sure a lot of people have been in the same boat as me.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's it for MMA. Now, I thought we would just have a little bit of a chat about the soccer. I'll be honest, since Liverpool's won, I haven't been paying attention to it too much. I kind of just watch the highlights every now and then and
Yeah,
look at
same.
the scores, but I haven't really been watching many matches live. I know last night, in terms of the Premier League, the North London derby was on. I watched the first half. Did you see the highlights of this one?
Yeah, I did. I thought
Arsenal's defense.
it was the goals that they conceded were both.
Yeah.
Well, the first one was
Laca's goal, though.
Lacazette's goal was good.
Goal was
And
sick.
Son's finish was also
Yeah,
fucking
and
tasty.
I haven't looked at Twitter or anything, but I'm sure David Luiz is probably copping a lot for that goal. But it was 100% Kolasinac's fault.
Kolasinac's pass was.
He missed him by 5 meters, and the pass was only 10 meters. Like I don't think he could have done it any worse if he tried. But yeah, good finish by Son. It was a great game to watch. Actually, I was watching it on my laptop because I was watching the cricket.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't be wearing this England jersey right now, given the fact that they just lost to the West Indies. But yeah, so I was watching this, and yeah, it was actually really exciting to watch. Both teams' defense have kind of been woeful this season.
Yeah.
And that was evident, really. It was just end to end, so much space in the midfield. It was really exciting to watch. But then the relegation fight, mate.
It is
the
kicking
top
off.
the European title, like the European spots, they're in, like, that's a big fight up there. But the relegation playoff, that is spicy.
Yeah.
Aston Villa finally won their first game in like 11 matches last night, and you were thinking that's a huge win. They've leapfrogged Bournemouth. They're only 4 points away from safety, and then Bournemouth just goes bang. It's Leicester 4-1, which I'm happy about because I want Bournemouth to stay up.
Yeah.
Big fan of Bournemouth. I like the way they go about it. I like the way they're managed. I like their players.
Mhm.
So they're still 1 win outside of the safety, and Villa plays West Ham in the last round, so someone's going to have to drop points there. But yeah, it's just getting heated there.
Yeah.
But yeah, even though Liverpool's already won the title and they've clinched it with a big gap back to second, everywhere else is pretty exciting. Tottenham leapfrogged Arsenal now, and all of a sudden well, I actually don't think they physically can, but they might make the Europa League. I don't think they can make the Champions League. So yeah, it's pretty spicy. Man City's ban just got overturned or whatever. They're allowed to play the Champions League next year,
Why am I not
which
surprised?
is bad for Man United and Wolves, who are probably hoping to capitalise on their ban by coming fifth and sneaking into the Champions League.
I think it's going to be Leicester who caught the brunt of that after their performance on the weekend. I think they're going to slip into fifth because United.
Yeah, they've been one of the worst teams post lockdown.
Honestly,
to be honest,
they've been
like
horrendous.
Wolves and United have been two of the best,
Yeah.
which is not good for them. However, the soccer story at the moment that I'm probably most excited about, Leeds, on top of the championship by 3 points. They've got a 6-point lead over third with only 3 matches to go. So if they win in this coming week, they've pretty much all but sealed it.
Yeah, I think
which is amazing to see such a big club coming back up to the Premier League. I'm really excited. I hope they get it done.
No, they look good as well.
So, yeah.
I think they can secure it on. There's a chance that they secure it on Thursday, I think, if I'm right.
Yeah, they're playing Barnsley, who's bottom of the league. Yeah, on Friday. Thursday over there. So they should be dispatching of them pretty comfortably. And that will see Leeds brought back up unless Brentford win. But if Brentford win, then they have to somehow win both their games, and Leeds have to lose both. But yeah, so Leeds are looking like they're going to be promoted, which is amazing to see. I was lucky enough to see Liverpool in the year they won, and likely to see Leeds in the year they came back to the Premier League. So I've got the Midas touch. And then elsewhere in the Serie A, I think Juve drew with someone the other day, but Lazio and Inter just keep slipping up. That's right. They drew with Atalanta, the boys.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be that exciting.
Yeah, Penaldo at his finest.
I don't think that will be that exciting, that race, but unless Juventus keep slipping up. And then in Spain, Real Madrid have overtaken Barca, and they've got a game in hand and have a 1-point lead, so they could go 4 points clear if they get that done, and there's only 2 matches left. So it looks like Barca have choked there, which is pretty average footy.
I think.
So yeah, that's it for just a quick soccer whip around. What do you have to say?
Yeah, I think Real Madrid, I've been watching like all their games. They've been like limping through the games, like 1-0 victory, Ramos penalties. They've been getting them through. But Barca have also been like pretty average, to be fair.
Watching Barca is like watching Liverpool like 2016. It's like
just frustrating.
They just play this like nice as footy, try and slice through teams, don't quite have it yet. Like they just can't penetrate all these pretty handy Spanish defenses, and it kind of just ends up coming down to Messi if he can do something special, which is like what it used to be with Coutinho.
Yeah.
So yeah, see some comparisons there. And
I can only see Barca getting worse like next season. I don't see how they get better. Like all their players, the heart of their team are all old.
Yeah.
They've only
I guess they've got Frankie and like Ansu Fati,
but they're not even
the
like
level
that team.
Yeah. Exactly. They're kind
like
of
Griezmann, Suarez, Messi, Busquets, Rakitic, PK, fucking all getting old. So good luck to those bastards.
Yeah, they're surely gotta make a move for like Poch or someone spicy.
They're gonna have to change something up because at this rate, there's no way they're improving enough to catch Madrid, whose team is like I think more exciting.
Yeah, like they play better footy, but Madrid just has more star power, and it's getting them over the line, albeit in tight ones. So that's pretty much all.
Yeah.
All I've got to say, really. What were you going to say?
I think Zidane's got them just working better than, what's his name? The Barca manager. Is it Setien?
Valverde. Setien came in for Valverde.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but can't see him lasting too long now, honestly.
Yeah. So that's all I've got for us. I hope you've enjoyed listening/watching. There's going to be lots more episodes to come. Also on YouTube, I'm going to start putting up some clips up of the podcast. So like just little 5-minute, 10-minute clips. So if you're not interested in watching the whole thing, you can relive shorter stories, your favorite moments. So yeah, look forward to that. Look out for that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Got quite a few episodes planned. Got some new guests lined up and some interesting ideas to come. So
You gonna sneak
if you're listening, stay tuned.
preview any of those for the diehards
Sorry.
still watching?
Wait, what?
Any cheeky
I don't know.
previews?
Well, I don't know the order 100%, but I know we've got an episode coming up at some point where we're going to discuss who's the greatest athlete of the 2010s decade. There's also one where we're going to discuss sporting events we wish we were alive for. And then I know we have an NRL review coming up with Locke, and then I think Peanuts or Alexander Van Well is going to make his debut on the show at some point, and we're going to have a chat about the F1 and the NBA. So quite a few
Unreal.
very diverse range of topics to come. But yeah, if you're still listening, thanks for sticking it out. Bit of a shorter one today. But yeah, it just felt like I had to address the UFC given how hyped I was about it and how much me and Rhett were into it. So yeah. But yeah, thanks for joining me, Redos.
No worries, mate. Get a haircut,
And
both of us.
yeah, actually need a haircut. Jesus Christ.
This
But
is
yeah, thanks for
wild.
listening.
Thanks, mate.
Silly.